Green Arrow issue number 5. That's right, folks, we're back at it. Oliver Queen has his own book going on. That's really cool. It's just nice to remember he's here. I like Oliver a lot. I think he's a really cool character, and you could do something really interesting with him. This book is going in like a metatextual way, which is kind of fun. I really do appreciate that, where it's like, hey, he's had a complicated and rich history. It's insane. We're going to try to make sense of it all, even if it means not making sense whatsoever. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm very curious to see where this book is going to go, because I genuinely don't know anymore. There is kind of a setup to who the big bad might be, and I have no idea. And then some prelude giving us other stuff that's obviously going to come up in the Joshua Williamson DC Universe stuff. So this book opens up. It is the Legion headquarters, and Brainiac 5 is like, okay, so we have a time machine. Even though it's outlawed and incredibly dangerous, we have enough juice to send one of you guys somewhere to find Oliver. And of course, you see Connor being the bigger, older brother, like, all right, I'll do it. This is my risk to take. It's my father, and I'll get our family back together. Wherever he is, I'll bring him home. Cut to Oliver, and he is out and about with the older version of himself. They're running away from a couple of lizards on motorcycles. It's pretty cool. And you see the older one's kind of like a dick, but you get it. It's Oliver Queen. He's always going to be a dick. Their weird car turns into like a plane, and they fly into the Arrow Cave, where they evade all of the weird lizards on motorbikes. And the old Oliver's like, take it easy a minute, rest up, I'll talk to you in a second. I got stuff I gotta do. Like, okay, old Oliver's still kind of a dick, but he's still being old Oliver. We understand that, we appreciate that. Makes a lot of sense. We cut back to the timeline that's going on with Roy and Dinah, where Roy is yelling at his ex, Jade. She's like, I knew about Leanne. And it's just two people with complicated histories yelling at each other for not helping the other figure out what their daughter's been up to. And I'm like, that is so accurate and great for both of these characters. And Dinah's like, okay, enough of that. Can we just like move on with this? This is also the part of the book where we get like a little bit of like, this is what Amanda Waller's doing. She is kind of a character in this Green Arrow book, but she's also fiercely independent and doing her own thing. You know, Chester just like, you gotta watch out for Amanda Waller. Maybe not today, but maybe later in another book, Amanda Waller will be dangerous. Cool, sure. I guess that's the case. We cut back to see what Oliver's doing. He's looking at all like the memorabilia of him in his day. You're just seeing an old Oliver Queen who hates himself and the things he's done. And the young Oliver Queen is looking at the memory of his family. And they're all just like encased in their costumes are encased up on a mantle. Like, so this is what's become of it. That's all that's left is them. And the old Oliver turns like, it's complicated. I tried to save our family. And the young one, he's still headstrong. You know, he made a joke about capitalism earlier. He's still headstrong. Like, you could have done more. You should have died with them, old man. This future that you've built for yourself, this is not it. Okay? This sucks. You're a bad person. The old Oliver's like, look, man, the truth is I had to make deals with people like Amanda Waller. I had to make deals with people like Parallax just to keep our family separated, because if we're all together, it's the end of the world. Which is kind of like the metatextual thing of just like, there's too much weirdness going on with the timelines and everything with Green Arrow. So if we could do like an in-story reason why Oliver needed to keep his family separate, then it just makes it easier for everybody to track. But that's, of course, not the case. Why would that be the case? Oliver is starting to see that maybe something weird is going on with the older version of himself, the way he's referencing, like, maybe we should have stayed on the island. Why did we ever think about that place? It's done nothing but destroy us and make our family terrible. It's the way he's talking about the island, the way he's thinking about that gets the young Oliver to realize something's off. And he shoots an arrow into the eye of the old Oliver. He's like, funny thing about the island, I think about it a lot. How maybe I should have never left. How many of my friends and family would be better off if I just stayed there. Because maybe that's best for everyone, that I was alone. That's why whenever I need to get away and get my head straight, I go back to the island. I've been back many times. I just don't tell anyone. Which you didn't know, because you are not Oliver. And we see that the old Oliver is actually a robot. A robot that Oliver figured out wasn't him because he's too much of an idiot to realize the self-loathing thing isn't on full display. Oliver keeps the self-loathing bottled up and doesn't tell anybody, even himself. So that's a really cool thing we do. And who is this old robot guy? I think it's a robot, or it's just like a villain version of whatever. It's like his greatest enemy. So do with that as you will. Who is Oliver's greatest enemy? You can decide. Do they have glowing red eyes and are probably like a robot? Probably. I don't know. I know enough about Oliver's history to know like who his greatest enemies could be. But I feel like this is going to be like a twist, and maybe the reveal is eventually going to be like it's still himself, but it's not the version of himself he thinks it is. Either way, we see that the old Oliver robot throws the young Oliver into like the weird energy of the time machine, where he awakens in Phil Hester artwork. And I'm like, hey, that's always great. He did good on Green Arrow when he was doing it. So we wake up there. It's sometime in the past, and this is when the Oliver we've been following is confronted by a younger Oliver, right in the heyday when he returned from the dead for what might be the most memorable time that Oliver returned from the dead. He's like, look, okay, you might not believe anything I'm about to say, but I'm from the future. This all sounds crazy, but I'm trying to keep our family together. I need your help. And that's when a voice from somewhere else is like, well, that doesn't sound crazy at all. We're all a little lost. And then a bunch of Green Arrows show up. There's like 7, 8 other Green Arrows that show up all from different periods. The old stuff, the new 52 stuff, the older stuff. Pretty exciting. Like, come on. This is just great, you know? Phil Hester's doing some cool Green Arrow stuff. The modern day Oliver's like, what is going on right now? And he's like, I need to figure out if these are robots. So he shoots the one in the hand and blood comes out. And he's like, all right, I guess they're all me. And then all the Olivers just fight the one Oliver. I dig that a lot. That is such an Oliver Queen thing to do. It is so funny. And I really dig it. He's like, well, I made a mistake and I shot myself in the hand. And then they all beat him up. And then the one that we first see when we return to this era, that Return from the Dead, the classic Robin Hood looking one, he kind of ends the fight by shooting a weird looking energy arrow into the Oliver Queen we've been following, essentially killing him because the tag for the next issue is he's dead again? Question mark? That's where the issue ends. And I'm like, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this. The artwork is so fluid. When we switch to the Hester stuff, it's so much fun. This is a guy who loves Oliver Queen, and it's like, it's a complicated history. He's been through a lot, and so has his family. If we can, like, you know, weed out the weird shit and make it work, that's what we're gonna do. And I think that's what this book's been trying to do the whole time. It's been succeeding for the most part. I am very curious to see how much of the history we're gonna go through. It feels like we're going through all of it, which I can't complain about. It feels like it's been a minute since we did this, so I'm all for it. I am all for it. I'm having a great time, and it looks really cool. What else you got for me, Williamson? What else you got? So, Green Arrow issue number 5. I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.